Welcome to the 7th video in this series where we're making a Frogger using Godot. In this particular video, we're going to set up the timing for a frog and also put a little progress timer on our game UI. So we're making quite a bit of progress now. We've got our game controller up and alive with a script here where we're controlling the score, at least in terms of the movement of the frog, and also regenerating the frog and tracking the number of bases that we've landed on. The next natural step now is actually to give the frog a finite amount of time to actually reach its target, which was something which was in the original game. If I remember correctly, that starts off as 30 seconds, and each time you go up a level, that reduces. To do this, we're going to need a progress bar on the game UI. So I'm going to go to the game UI and to 2D and zoom out and check where we are. Okay, good. Then select the margin container, add a new note, and we want to add here a progress bar. Not the texture progress bar, that one's for textures. We want the progress bar, so I'll double click on that one. And that's added. Now it's at the top of the screen here. We don't really want that. So clicking the sizing at the top here, I'm going to do horizontal shrink end and vertical shrink end. That puts it all the way down the bottom here, and it looks like it's disappeared apart from the 0% that you can see here. Let's go to the inspector though, instead of the signals. And in there we can, if I just move this across, we can uncheck the show percentage. Don't want to see that. We just want to see the progress bar itself. Now it looks here that we're not showing anything, but that's because the current value of the progress bar, which is here, the value is 0. And it's set minimum 0, max 100. I'm going to change that to 30, which is what we'll have. And you'll see inside the code, we'll actually set this each time we start a new level. And then we can set a current value, say, of 15, so we can actually see something on our progress bar. We still don't, though, and that's because it's got a size of 0. So what I'll do is go down to the layout, down to the custom minimum size, and I'm going to make this 256 pixels in the X. And then in the Y, we can make this 24 pixels. We'll see how that looks. Yeah, that probably actually might be all right. That was a bit of a guess, but it seems to be okay. You can see that we've got a half-filled progress bar. That's because the value is half of the total. If I set this to 24, it changes, for example, like that. So what we're going to do inside our code is pretty simple. We just update the progress bar.value property with the value that we have, which is going to be the time remaining for the frog. What I'm going to do, though, is set that back to 15 for now. What I would like is to change the background color of this and the foreground color. And to do that, we need to adjust the theme, or override the theme, should I say. So we'll go to the theme overrides. Then we want to go to the styles, and we need to change the background and the fill. To do this, I'll click there and do make unique for the background, and click here and make unique for the fill. Then we can click on the background. Then the background color here, just want to make something a little bit sort of bluish. You can see it changing here, and not quite so dark, so a little bit lighter. It is fairly transparent here as well, so if you're setting lots of colors and you don't see much, that'll be the reason why. I'm going to move this up a little bit more, so we've got something that's vaguely visible as a background. That looks, I think, okay. Then I'm going to click up here on the star box to close that up, open up the fill one. This is the one we definitely want to see more. So I'm actually going to make this actually completely opaque. And again, I'd like some kind of nice sort of blue for the progress bar, something like that. I think is okay. So I'll do Control-S to save. That's going to be then our progress bar. What we need to do is inform the game UI of the time left so it can set the value on the progress bar. And we're going to do that timing from inside the game controller. So I'm going to select the game controller, open up the game controller script. And what we'll do is we'll export right at the top here the frog time, which is going to be by default 30 seconds. That's the amount of time we have for each frog as they're running up through the map. If it goes to 0, they actually die and we lose a life. Then what I'm going to do is actually copy this, and I'll call this frog time underscore left. And this is going to keep track of how much time we actually have left for our given frog. And we need to immediately, as soon as we're ready to go, set the frog time left, obviously to our frog time, otherwise it's going to be 0 for the current frog that's starting the game. Now this resetting of the frog time left is something we're going to need to do more than once whilst it's running, so putting that in the ready is probably not a good idea. What we'll do is we'll actually write a function for this. So write a new function called restart frog time. And here we can set then the frog time left to be equal to our frog time. Now what we want to do is get this to decrease, and we can do this inside the process. And I'm looking here and there isn't one because I deleted it. Well done. So what we're going to do then is add the process back in here. So I'll do func underscore process. And each time we have a process, we'll decrement by delta. And then if the frog time left is less than or equal to 0, then the frog has died. And if we scroll down to the frog died, where are we here? Which resetting to the start, but in here what we can do then is also restart the frog time as well. Otherwise we're just going to get endlessly dying frogs. So we should have an initial part with the time reducing for the frog there. So I'll just recap what's going on here, and I'm glad I did because I've forgotten to restart the frog time in the ready. So I'll grab hold of the restart frog time, and inside here, inside the else, what we can do is restart that here. So we first load our game controller. We will set this up to the default 30 seconds. And by the way, I exported this simply in case we wanted to tune it or fiddle around in the level. We can set it immediately here. Otherwise I would have put it in as a normal variable inside here. But when we're ready to go, we immediately set that up to 30 seconds, and the first process frame onwards, it starts counting down. And when the time remaining gets to 0, we invoke our onFrogDied function, which then resets the current frog to the start. And we also restart the frog time, so we restart our timer. Now, we're not seeing anything on the progress timer in the game UI yet. We'll do that in a moment. But what we should see now is the frog actually get reset when it runs out of time. So I'm going to go to the level here and select the game controller, which has the default time of 30 seconds. But for a quick test, I'm going to set that actually to 5 seconds. Then run the game and scoot forwards a little bit and just basically wait and see if we get reset after 5 seconds. And we've been reset. Excellent. So I can do that again. I'll just double check. Should get reset again after 5 seconds. Cool. Okay, so that's working. We're running out of time. We haven't got a little bell or anything playing there. When we do, we'll add one of those in later on, but we are definitely running out of time. What I'd like to do now is update the progress bar, and I'm sure you can guess how that's going to happen. We're going to use a signal via the signal hub. So going to our signal hub then, what we'll do is put a new signal in here called time remaining. And we're going to emit this every quarter of a second or so. We don't need to do it all the time. And that will be enough, I think, to update the progress bar. So I'm going to copy and paste this to save a little bit of time. We'll do emit time remaining emit, and we want the delta here. And now we can emit this signal from our game controller, but rather than do it every single frame when we're updating inside the process here, let's do it more intermittently. From that, we don't need it to happen that often. So selecting the game controller scene, or selecting the game controller at the top here, I'm going to select the root node, and we can add a timer node here. We can get that to auto start, and let's get it to fire every 0.2 seconds. It's 5 times a second, 5 frames a second. That sounds a lot, but for the computer, it's not very fast at all. Then we can go to the signals, double click, and connect that up into our game controller. And then each time we time out here, we'll simply emit the value that we have. So we'll do signalhub.emit. We want time remaining, and that's our frog time left. Okay, so that's that part done. We need to display this though, which means connecting up to this from the other side, which is in our game UI. So go into the game UI, into the script. We need access to our progress bar, and we want to hook ourselves up to the time remaining as well. So we'll find the time remaining signal, and here we want to hook up to on time remaining. We don't have that function at all. I'm going to go to the signal hub, grab hold of this because it's a little bit quicker and saves you watching me fumble around with the typing. So we're going to have on time remaining, and then we'll get hold of our progress bar, and we can set the progress bar.value equal to delta. Now, naming this parameter delta isn't brilliant, is it? Probably should change it to something a little bit more descriptive. So I'm going to change this to time_left, and also put this here as well. And then let's go to game UI and also change this here. I think that's a little bit better than it was before. Okay, so that should have, I think, our progress bar updating. So I'm going to run the application and see what we have. Yes, I can see it definitely updating. And when we run out, what we should see is that we are reset. Yes, we did. I was very close there to just leaving it where it was, but let's just check that again. It runs out and we reset. Excellent, that looks good. Remember, its maximum is 30, which is why it isn't starting off filled. Which brings me to the next part. We need to be able to do that as well, because as the levels increase, the maximum amount of time we have reduces, and I'd still like the progress bar to know about that. So we need to change the progress bar's max value as well. To do that, we'll add ourselves another signal, and I'll call this one frog time started. And then we can call this max_time. And as ever, I'll do a copy and paste of this here. And we'll do emit frog time started. And here we can take the max time. And then we'll connect ourselves up to this in our game UI. So we've got frog time started. And then I'll paste this in here. And this was max time. And the function can be on frog time started. I'm going to go to distraction-free views. It's a little bit easier, hopefully, for you to see. And then what we do inside here is we're going to set the progress var max value. So we'll set the progress var max value, and that's going to be equal then to the max time. I'll do Control-S to save. Now we need to emit this from our game controller. So I'm going to grab hold of the game controller on the left-hand side here. And in the function restart frog time here, where we've set everything up, this is where we need to emit this. So we'll grab hold of our signal hub dot emit frog time started, and that can be emitted with our frog time. Now what we're doing here can be a little bit tricky and easy for someone like me anyway to get wrong. So I want to make sure this is working as expected. I think we've got 5 seconds by default. But what we'll do after we've set this each time is we'll actually reduce the frog time. So I'm going to say the frog time multiplied by equals to 0.5. So it's going to reduce a lot each time. And what we can also do here is we can also print actually the values as well. So we'll print the frog time left, and then we'll also print immediately after that the frog time as well, hopefully to check everything's working okay. So I'm going to come out of distraction-free mode, go into the level. I've got this feeling I've forgotten something, but we'll come back and fix it if I have. The game controller here, I'm going to set this actually to maybe 10 seconds. So I've got a little bit of time to react at the start. Let's then run the application, and I'll go forwards. Okay, looks like we are indeed counting down. Are we counting it down? That was points there. I just looked, I've seen points mixed up with time. Let's see what happens here. We reset. Okay, that's definitely a lot quicker, and now it should be really quick. So we reset full, Now it's going down even quicker. Okay, so that's definitely working. That's good. So I'll close that down, close down the output. And I know actually what was on my mind. What happens if we actually hit the boundary here? So I'm going to run this again and try and get to the boundary inside the time running out. Please do. Does it reduce? So we die. Yes, it's going down quicker. That's what I was checking for. Now it should go down really quickly once we finish here. Yes, it's going down really quickly. Excellent. Cool. Okay, so I'll close that down and close down the output. I'm going to get rid of these prints here because they're a little bit confusing, and also get rid of the score print actually here as well. But speaking of scores, what we can do is we can now, when the frog gets home, actually increment the score because we've got the timer. So in the onFrog home here, we can get our increment for our score bonus. We'll do that before the level complete. So I'm going to say var and say bonus. That's going to be an int. And now the way it was scored in the official one was to have a score of 50 plus 10 times the number of seconds remaining. So I'm going to do int, and then we've got frog time left multiplied by 10. And this should then be our bonus. I'm going to print the bonus here. Then we can invoke our update score, sending in our bonus. And then I still have the level selected here with the game controller on the right hand side. I'm going to give myself the full 30 seconds now. Now run the application and race up to the top of the screen and see if we can get some kind of bonus. And we've got 310 there. That looks pretty good to me. So if we subtract 50 from that, then we've got 260, which was multiplied by 10, so 26 seconds left. That actually seems about right to me. I'm going to run that again and double check this. So just run up here. I'm going to wait till the progress bar. I'll speed this up a bit. It's just down to halfway. So I let the progress bar drop to around halfway, and we've got the bonus of 200, which means actually it was exactly halfway. So yep, the score bonus seems to be working well there. Excellent. Good. So I'll close down the output. I can also remove this print now as well. I don't think we need that. And then we should probably also take off this artificial reduction of the frog time here. So I'll delete that. Control this to save. Excellent. So we've come quite a long way now. Let's go back to 2D view so we can finally see something visual on the screen. Our game controller is well and truly up and running. I think that's enough for this particular video. What we can do in the next video is deal with the level completion. So thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video for that one.